And we're live. Round two, another hour of live data wrangling. I'm going to just drop this URL on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we'll get cracking. Copy link address. Make sure it works. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, we're good. Okay, another hour of live data wrangling. There should be no there should be no dash there. There. I mean, is there supposed to be a dash there? I don't know. Boom! LinkedIn, and let's tweet it too. So I explained this in the first video and in the past. Like usually I listen to music when I code, but then I can't do that when I'm live coding, right? Because then YouTube's all like, "You're bad. We'll delete you, mute you." You can't even hear what I'm saying. It's not. It would be cool if they could just like filter out the music and let my voice keep going. They don't do that. So this is for an academic paper, so I added some of those tags on there. Post that. Head over to Twitter. Post successful. Sweet. Thanks. Twitter, you always got to hit them with the please RT. That is statistically shown to increase retweets, not only in like general like industry statistics, but in my own statistics. I've also seen that. That dash is freaking me out. Somebody needs to tell me if that dash needs to be there. I don't know if these are the good hashtags. TypeScript. TypeScript is a thing. Node.js got deleted. No, it didn't. Come on. Okay, cool. That should be it for my prep, and we can dive in. I know I can also like do that like before the show starts, but I feel like it's kind of annoying. 1 or 2 concurrent viewers. Hey, feel free to hit me in the chat if you got anything to ask. All right, so to the code. So last time where we left off, we had updated the Wrangler script to have better types. So in the past, a related paper was written in, the Wrangler was written in JavaScript. So now it is written in TypeScript, better types, more flexible, more generic, incorporating new survey questions into our column transforms. And we had just gotten that working, created this Boolean ICell function, committed that up to GitHub earlier today. If you would like to see the official repository for all of my academic papers, preprint only. So after, you know, the journal says like revise and resubmit, etc., I put it into a private repository in Bitbucket for my postprints. So this is basically a preprint server for me. It's GitHub. I use GitHub as a preprint server. And I really recommend that. I think that's the new way to write papers. Is, you know, using Git and version control like programming best practices as a like paper development workflow. Yeah, use Git. Whether that be GitHub or Bitbucket, GitLab is really cool. And there's some others, but this is the one that I use. Okay, so this is the paper we're working on today. And we finished the unwrite. The unwrite was successful, and now we need to finish. Now we need to completely start on, really, the write. Write-csv.ts. So this is pretty much a dump from JavaScript. So the write. Yep. So here is the JavaScript that I wrote back last year, more than a year ago. And you can see I'm still using the require syntax. And that's Node.js, right? And that's slightly dated Node.js because we can use import now. It's not really that dated. And the long run goal is to use Dino, but going Node with TypeScript is very much a big step in the direction. So you can see right up here at the top, the way these dependencies are declared using a require syntax versus over here with an import syntax. So obviously I did some stuff, but not really that much. I pretty much copied this file, pasted it here, wrote it as a TypeScript file, and then changed the imports. And then I also extracted some of these functions into a separate script, which is a library script, because these functions are duplicated across unwrite CSV, wrangle libts, and write CSV. So since they're duplicated, I extracted them to a library script, and I'll probably publish that as an npm package at some point, so it can actually be like a real library. So those are the only changes I did, but I haven't done a lot. You can see main is all this stuff is untyped. Set caches is untyped. So this is an array of any. Right. So I really didn't do a full TypeScript conversion. It's very much untyped. We got a red line here. Let's see what that's complaining about. Merge caches. Let's see. Expected an argument from merge caches. Expected options. I think options needs to be optional. So first I will fix this function, and then we'll try and get it running. I'm focused more on getting the script running than having it typed out really strongly. So some of these we're going to leave them untyped. But options, I believe there's a parse function. It's parsing command line options. And I think I just need to pass this in. So here's uniquify duplicates, options, it's false, yeah. Boom, problem solved, easy mode. Okay.
Hey, stop it!
All right, I don't see any really obvious errors, so let's see if we can get started. For now, we just ensure written records include unique. Yeah, I think we can keep doing that for now too. Get implied, that's fine. Yeah, so this write CSV has the concept of a representative record. So in the spreadsheet, I just take the first row, like the title row, and then I create an object, and that's like a representative record, which basically defines the schema. The representative record just defines the schema. So in principle, this library could comply with any schema. It's like a dynamic schema. So at runtime, NC it's an any, which I don't really like, but I think we're going to leave it like that for now. All right, cool. No one said anything in the chat so far. All right, so let's just try running this. I don't see any real errors. and the unwrite already worked. So over here, close to the right, Ovid package. Love that Control P to open up the search, and then you can do fuzzy typing. So I know the full file path includes the string COVID in Windows Explorer. Right there, alt COVID grit ocean. And that's kind of a unique string that's not in my other data sets, so that's why I picked that one. And there's only one package JSON under there, under any of the folders under here. So there's the package JSON. So I'm looking at this file right here, and I can literally Control P type COVID JSON or COVID package, and it comes up. That's the fuzzy typing in VS Code. I love that. Super fast navigation. Okay, so we have this build script, wrangler, and then unwrite. And so now we need to add a step for write. And I can just copy the unwrite step. And I know this is super gross, long build thing, and there's a to-do to make a regular expression, so I don't have to do this. I want to get to the statistical analysis, so I'm less concerned about that functionality today. Okay, so this is the first instance of unwrite. Here's the second instance. And the command line arguments for write CSV and unwrite CSV are the same. So I can just delete the un. So now it will write, which was already working, and now we are asking it to unwrite as well. Now here's an issue. The file names are going to be different. So that's just one thing I need to watch out for. And then unique key is respondent ID. As we saw in this use record, it is still looking for the unique key. So, and that is a unique key. In my data set, respondent ID is a unique key. So that'll work fine. So the only gotcha that I can see is the file names, which should reflect the syntax wrangled -SOAC. That's survey on alternative credentials. That is the abstract data set. It's like the panel survey I keep administering. And I think later in this video, or in another video soon, I'll show you a survey administration, like take you to Mechanical Turk and actually put in a request for a new administration, because I want to do another one in the same data set, one more administration for my next paper anyway. Okay, so it's the .json. So write CSV, does it already append JSON? And it does, right? Which I'm not even sure if I like that. I think I would like to specify the .json, but this should in theory work right now, so let's leave it. Okay, yeah. So it's just a little bit unintuitive because I'm saying this, which is referring to a CSV file, but it's going to append .json suffix. I don't really like that. I think it's a little bit confusing. And since I think it's confusing, I'm not going to do it. So let's not automatically append JSON. Okay, so now I think I just need to manually append .json. Cool. Okay, so let's try, and then what is the output file name? I think it's just output. Output file name. RS output CSVs or output.csv. Yeah, so that's not super obvious to me why it's doing that. Output CSVs. Cache. Okay, so it's empty. Where is it set? That's the only place it's set. Not really sure what this is even used for. Got this old to-do. I think I just put, that's from 2 days ago, but I think it's older than that. I think I just said move it to there because, yeah, I have no idea. Even in the old JavaScript file, like, what's it being used for? Output CSVs, output CSVs. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is if I, for some reason, did not want to output a single unified CSV, and I wanted to output like multiple CSVs, but that's exactly not the case. It's exactly not the purpose of this write CSV file. So I'm going to, oh, okay, hold on, did it just push? Okay, so push cache. All right, push in 2 places. So we never actually set it, we just push it. Okay, that's fine. But if we do that, then it should be a constant. Okay, it's a constant novelette. Yeah, so this is a constant array, and we just manipulate the contents. Cool, so slice 2 for each. Right, so these are the actual file names. So output CSVs is if it includes dash dash. All right, let's just try running it. I'm pretty sure I'm not using that today, but I'm not sure what to do with it, so I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. So we put this into our build script. So npm run build. See what's going on over here. So the only diff that I have is that I'm fix the merge caches, and then I'm going to be explicit about the JSON suffix. Okay, so we finished no errors. Now, it did not write a unified CSV. It wrote a series of CSV, which is not what I want. This might be okay. Let me open up one of these and see what they look like. I'm trying to remember in the old script, did I output CSVs and then merge them as a separate step? I kind of thought the whole point of the write CSV was so that it can merge it for me. Yeah, I mean, the actual data looks good. So this is only like 400 observations. So this is definitely not all the samples being written over and over with different names. This is definitely just that one becoming just this. So it's very much a one-to-one right now. So let's look at the old package JSON. Let me check if anyone asked any questions. No questions yet. Okay, cool. So I'm going to look at my old package JSON. So this was alt ed survey data package. And again, I am leveraging the fuzzy typing. So I know that alt ed survey is the folder, and then subfolder data, and there should only be one package JSON under that. And so that's how I found this guy. So I actually didn't use scripts. Great. So I think I just used the package JSON to install node modules, and then I just ran the scripts arbitrarily outside of package.json. Okay, good thing I have a README. Node write CSV. So this is an example of how I'd write it. Yeah, so there I also did not specify an output file. To do fix this step, write CSV is depending on key index, which varies by file. So output is incorrectly merged. Excuse me, say what? Write CSV is depending on key index, which varies by file. Key index. Output file doesn't even have all expected columns, e.g. superset of 2 input files. Oh my gosh. So I hope that this README is wrong, because we have a bit of work to do if that's the case. Okay. So we need to prove whether or not the supersetting happens. Well, we already demonstrated, close to the right, we already demonstrated the supersetting did not happen. Let's double check. But here in the 2018 output, for example, in 2018, I did not ask about personality. That's only in 2020 I've done that. So let's look in the 2020 output. Ocean COVID. All right, so do I have personality? Person. Okay, so personality grit, COVID, male, blah, 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 blah. And here are the ocean, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness. Okay, so let's take this, something easier to spell than neuroticism, openness. Okay, so if we fail to superset, then the 2018 data set, which is on screen now, I'm sharing this, right? Yeah. So I should not find the string openness in this file. Openness. Yeah, okay, it's not there. So my README appears to be correct. We are not supersetting. So I don't know how I would have even done that analysis. How did I even create the output in the past then? Because that old output file was supersetted. Papers, survey, data, super confusing folder structure from the past time I did this. It's like the 2nd February. It's like this magic folder location. The 2nd February under wrangle. And we got this output CSV that the write CSV somehow generated. I think there's like a magic command line syntax I need to use. But the README was not obvious about it. Okay. Write caches to CSVs. So the caches are the JSON files, by the way. Write caches to CSVs. Yeah, I mean, it seems like wipe output file. Did it also create output? ABC. Did it just create all the small ones and then also create output? No. So so the whole function is wrapped into main. All right, so we're going to have to actually think through this and maybe edit the script. So that kind of sucks. So pause on the statistics for a minute. That's fine. So the whole function is wrapped into main. The first thing I do is I parse options. Yep. First thing I do is I parse options. Fine. Oh, what options, by the way? Clean value. Yeah. That just cleans up a string, so it'll trim it, and then any non-white space character, basically only alphanumeric, only word characters are allowed. Everything else is removed. So that's fine. And we want it to s to lowercase s. So arg for each to lowercase includes unique key. So so this is getting the unique key. We already know what the unique key is. It is, right here. Cache merge options observed, but no unique key. I think I just need to pass like a merge option. It's just not documented. Yeah. If any merge option exists, set merge to true as a safety measure. I think I just need to set that. Okay, so this creates each one. Okay, cool. So we get the unique key, and that's working. Else, if it includes dash dash, then we set it as an option. So we can set any command line option we want that way. Else, we consider it an output CSV. Else, we consider it an output CSV. What a ridiculous approach. Okay, that's fine. I'm at least going to test that it includes CSV. It should end in CSV, not just include it. Output CSVs. Cache.json. Okay, I know what's going on. So I used to do this two different ways. So right now I'm following a very well-defined workflow where it's like one-to-one. One SurveyMonkey source generates one wrangled CSV, generates one wrangled JSON, and then those wrangled JSON are all merged. So that's a possible workflow that this write CSV supports, but I forgot it's not the only one it supports. It also supports, I can, instead of having a bunch of separated JSON files, I can have one ginormous JSON file, which is called cache.json. And apparently that is the default. I forgot that approach even existed, but apparently it's programmed in as the default. And also, output CSVs is like a confusing name because you can see the way I used to write. I used to do this. I don't specify the suffix, and then it just knows if it's a CSV or a JSON file. And I don't like that. Now I like to be very explicit now. So. So should cache be cache.csv or cache.json? And I think the answer, unfortunately, is like both. Because I think it's using the same string to refer to the source and the destination, where the source is cache.json and the destination is cache.csv. What I'm going to do is cache.json. So let me to-do maybe rename this. Maybe separate the concerns. it just turns into these like extremely long command line commands. And I think I was trying to minimize the amount of typing there, which I totally could have just used like a package JSON script or like a regular expressions, but as we saw, there was no package JSON script in the old approach. Okay, checking for questions. Nope, good to go. Okay. So now I expect do I want to do plus CSV? Yeah. So my sources have to be JSON files. My sources have to be, oh. I wonder if I also used to allow for write CSV to also take in CSVs. Instead of JSON to CSV, it could go CSV to CSV. I think I need to separate that script too. I think I need to separate that concern as well. So this is not just write CSV, this is JSON to CSV. To do, if we want to support CSV to CSV, like merging and stuff, scope that in another script. This will assume JSON to CSV only. Okay, cool. And in fact, I'm going to rename the script to make that super clear. So this is not write CSV. This is like merge wrangled JSON. Wow, I'm totally in the wrong file. Okay. Merge wrangled JSON. Merge wrangled JSON. -json.ts feels a little weird. But I don't care. I don't care if it feels a little weird because it's accurate. Merge wrangled JSON. All right, let me go grab my to-dos from over here. All right, cool. So we got all these to-dos, which we can deal with later, but at least we're documenting them. I'll undo my JavaScript file change. Okay. We're not going to commit you yet, but we're going to get you all ready. And man, I just think there's so much weirdness around the file names. Let's go ahead and rewrite it. It won't take that long. So we're going to use the Wrangler approach. So the Wrangler approach is you look for a prefix. It's like a step towards a regular expression approach, but it's simpler. We don't have to deal with regular expressions. So you can see I just define a magic prefix, which is the wrangle prefix. Okay, and we're going to move that to the library. Let RO caches export. Let RO caches. So I did move this to the library. Yep. So this. Oh, this is the right CSV. Go away. All right. So write merge wrangled JSON. Okay. RO caches is over there. Merge wrangled JSON. I don't need the RO caches. Okay. So export const wrangler prefix. Yep. Okay, so you don't have a wrangler prefix. Now we will import you. Sort our imports. Bam. Save. Auto formatting. Great. So this guy, now we're importing the wrangler prefix. I will stage that. Now we're exporting the wrangler prefix. I'll stage that. And in merge wrangle JSON, we need to import the wrangler prefix and use it. And then once we do this, see how it's just TS node wrangler, and I don't have to like specify all the file names. I'll be able to do the same. It obviously creates some constraints. So some of the constraints include it will hit any and all JSON files in the working directory, and it will only work in the current working directory. So those are some of the constraints, and also you're not allowed to, like if you like dealing with that prefix is tightly coupling the file name to the implementation. So those are some of the constraints, but some of the benefits, very intuitive. This script so it's less flexible and it's more tightly coupled, but it's also more intuitive, more concise, and simpler in some respects. So when I finish this, and this is going to be merge wrangled JSON. TS node merge wrangled JSON. Yep. Okay, and so when I finish the script, it will loop through my current directory, which is the same one that my package.json exists in. So that is this folder. And it'll hit all the JSON files. If you end a JSON, it'll hit all of them. And then among all the JSON files, if you start with the prefix, those will be my caches. So I will not specify the caches. I will just have an opinionated assumption about what those caches are. So in the old way, I can put anything I want there. And the new way, it's going to be kind of assumed. Pros and cons, pros and cons. All right, cool. So read files. So the output CSVs, and we don't, and this allows us to decouple input and output CSVs. So we're not going to have read files as a function of output CSVs. We're going to have read files as the business rule I earlier defined. If you end in JSON, and if you start with the prefix, and you're in my directory. So let me look in the library. I think get something about getting the files is either in Wrangle or merge caches is here. Wow. Cool. I don't have to. I don't redefine merge caches. That's good. Get caches. Oh, that's just a getter. It doesn't actually. All right, so let's look at my Wrangler file. Get caches, set caches. I don't deal with the caches at all. Folder. Get input file locations. Yep. So this data folder path. That's just a convention that I have that whenever I'm doing my research and I have a paper, I have like a conventional paper folder structure. So this is well represented in my section 127 folder. There's like a data folder that includes my do files for Stata and my outputs, my CSVs, source files, all that data, separate figures and tables, preprint submission packages, and then my tech, like latex, bib file and all that. I just kind of dump right there. So that is what data folder path is referring to. But no one needs to use that convention. It's just the current. It's just the current folder path, or like the folder path to interrogate. I'll just say folder path. Containing folder path. I'll even leave it as data folder path. So it's the folder that contains data. It doesn't actually need to be called data. All right. If it includes CSV, so let's move this over to the wrangle lib. Export it. But the CSV thing, now we import path from path. Do we still use path over here anymore? Yep, for sure. So this CSV thing, we want to change it. So if it includes CSV and the Wrangler prefix, and I can't say that it starts with the prefix because S file name is like a whole directory path that starts with your, all your folders. So I can only check that it includes. I mean, there's other stuff I could do, but that's what I'm doing right now. So it includes CSV and the prefix, or else it just ends up getting mapped to undefined, and then the undefineds are filtered out right here. Okay, and CSV, I would like to be configurable. So this will be file type. And I'll be like file type suffix. Now the issue happens that I'm doing this like .csv.json thing. .csv.json. That's like such a bad practice. I can make sure it ends with the suffix. Even though we can't make sure it starts with the prefix, we can make sure it ends with the suffix. I think I could use last index of. So let's do fake file.csv.json, last index of, last index of .csv. I want to know ends with. Is that a thing? Ends with .json. This is why Chrome is so great. This is definitely not supported cross-browser ends with, but I'm using Node and I think it has it because it's using the same V8 as Chrome. So ends with CSV, ends with JSON. Okay, cool. So I can say it doesn't just include it, ends with file type suffix, which is a string. Yep. Not find fs. Let's import fs. Can I just do this? Import fs from fs. Cool. Love it. Yeah, I don't see any real complaining. Cool. So now we get input file locations, and then in the future that can totally take a parameterize the data folder so it's not assuming current working directory. Okay, we got rid of this. So now that we did this, I can use the same function in my write. Okay, I don't see any real complaints. Let's set the imports, save, auto format, great. Get input file locations. Do that up here. So read files. Where do I use this, by the way? 1, 2, 1, 2. It's the only place. I'll still declare it in 2 lines, even though I don't really need to. The thing is that this time it needs to end with JSON. Switch import, save, auto format, create. This is just getting the file locations. This does not get the file content. Okay. So I can still use this logic. Yeah, instead of specifying output CSVs, which is kind of confusing, I just map that async file. So this is async file. Read the file. Then I parse it. Great. And so I still end up with caches at the end of the day. And this is what I want. So now that I end up with caches, write caches to CSVs, regex to skip some records. Okay, I don't care about any of that right now. So I get the representative record. Oh cache. Yeah, so the representative record is the record that has a title line in it. So basically within the cache, within these JSON, like I have to have one record that is, I have to build a title record. That's fine. This is the file, output file name is the only thing I'm a little concerned about. Yeah. So I used to allow file by file, which is in a way is kind of cool. It would be nice to preserve that. But in this case, I just want the output.csv. What I'm going to do is make it an option. Merge files. It already is an option. In the future, we could support merge file. Yeah, merge files is false. We should just default it to true. Okay, but if we default it to true, we have no mechanism to set it as false currently. Right, that's the trick. Yeah, so that's why we default it to false, even though you should pass it every time currently. Okay, but to do merge, so it's like a fake option. It's not really a fake option because it worked. I guess if this should be a different option. Assume file names. Assume file names. So we're going to kind of roll back some of these changes that we've made, but we're going to create a new thing called assume file names, and I'm going to use it. But in theory, what I did there should be preserved. It shouldn't be like thrown out. Okay. So this will continue to be the build that I want, but then we're going to make like a verbose build. Verbose build. Yep. So let me undo. Yep. All right, so we have, this is verbose build. And then this assume names pattern will be our build. So we want to pass a couple flags. It wasn't really well documented, but basically we just want to pass a couple flags to merge wrangle JSON. We want to pass assume file names and merge files. Duplicate handling is an interesting thing, but we're going to ignore that for now. So unique key is done like this. So I'll try to follow that pattern. Ooh, yeah. Assume file names. Assume file names. So we want to assume file names. And we want to merge files as well. Assume file names, merge files. Cool. And basically, if we assume file names, then I'll do this, and I will also use output CSV. Some of this needs to get broken apart. It's kind of confusing. So this true. It's not even used until over there, so I think that's okay. So output file name, so I'll make this a let. All right, so this is going to be our output, like a default output file name. Okay. So we'll still support having more than one if there are multiple caches. It makes sense. Otherwise, we use the default. And I think the idea was like this length check was basically like an implicit file name. Okay. Yeah. The length check can be an implicit way to set assume file names. Because if you don't specify output files, like what are you even doing? So I think that was kind of like the assumption is like if you don't specify output files, then you're going to merge. I don't think it wasn't really explicit, so it wasn't really clear. So I guess I knew what I was doing at the time. Pity anyone who tried to replicate that, including myself. Okay, great. So read files is an empty array if we assume file names, else. Ensure multiple out files or throw. It doesn't have to be some number. And ensure one or more. Ensure one or more explicit out files or throw. I'm not even going to. Okay, yeah. So we can look at my old. Oh, it says renamed. Okay, great. This old logic we can keep. Okay. Output CSVs. The thing is that I just don't want them to be called output CSVs. I just got to separate those concerns. It's already a to-do though, right? Separate concerns between output CSVs and input CSVs. All right, so we already got the to-do. Move to wrangle lib. Yeah, maybe some other time. All right, so this is looking good. If we assume file names, all right, so I kind of expect this to break, but let's try it. And that is assume file names and merge files. No such file or directory cache.json, right? If there are not any output CSVs, then I default to the single file called cache. I can get rid of that. This is basically an approach to assume file names. If all you have there is a single file called cache.json, that will be picked up with assume file names. So if there are, yeah. So another way to write this is if there are no output CSVs, then assume file names is true. Yep. Cool. So I think I can still if it is greater than 1, so it's more like if not, assume file names. In which case this line is not needed. And I can flip the order to make it just a little less complex. Okay, so if we assume file names, use that, otherwise that. Okay, great. Whoa, now I got output.csv, programming works. I don't believe this. I don't actually believe in programming. Hold on. Oh my gosh, output programming might work. But did it superset? So to know if it's supersetted, I need to know about personality. Whoa, did not expect that. So I think it just smushed my CSVs together. All right, good. Yeah, I shouldn't believe in programming. All right, and this has to do with the way that we are handling the representative record. So the representative record needs to be a superset when today it's not. So it's female. Yeah, we gotta fix that for sure. All right, close all this. Bop, 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 bop. Go ahead and add all this stuff. And we just need to fix output CSV. Put it right up at the top. That's it. That's all there is to it. It is broken today. However, I don't think I need to specify assume file names. And it did pick up merge files because that's why I tried to create output.csv. Whoa, oh yeah, and it's not ordered. So like, oh jeez. I had this whole thing where I would order the output so it would get rid of this get noise. I don't know what happened to that. I think I stopped doing that. Okay. I'll add a to-do for that as well. Okay, goodbye. Oh, you know what? I think I just started like sorting output before I committed it instead of writing a script. Let me do that now. Okay, so we start on respondent ID. All right, and that's going to be it. See you later.